What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Laser Source Podcast, the number one podcast if you like data. I've been organizing a lot of data. Rhiannon's here.
Hello.
Kyle's here.
Yo.
He's delayed, but he's here. Hello. I don't have a ton prepared for today, so we're just going to kind of be hanging loose. Wow.
I stopped it.
Imagine it.
I thought I turned my speaker off.
Clearly. I don't know. What's up, Kyle? How are you, man?
I'm doing, man. I'm
Yeah.
slowly dying.
Yeah. Are you slowly moving your shop yet?
It's a process, but yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rhiannon, you just published an episode of the show.
I did.
How was that experience? Just for the record, guys, I didn't touch this episode
He didn't.
at all. I didn't even look. I didn't touch the script. I didn't.
He listened to it a few times.
I did dozens of times. But I didn't touch the script. I didn't do any of the recording. I didn't give her any tips or heads up. This is a 100% Rhiannon production.
Woo.
So I hope you enjoyed it. It seems like people did. It got lots of comments.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate. It's almost at 1,000 views a little
Woo.
over 24 hours later, which is pretty good for us considering we make boring educational content.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was cool to do a couple fun little projects.
Mhm.
And I got all those vectors from, what is it called? Design bundles.
Design bundles.
Yeah.
I will add an affiliate link down in the
Yeah.
description if you want to
So
support
if
the
you
channel.
see the little cute bulldogs or the beach scenes or the raccoon with the nipples.
Why does he have nipples?
I
That's
don't
so
know.
concerning.
I didn't make the art. so-
Anthony says 100% Rhiannon meat.
Yes, that is what it was.
That is what it was.
But I thought it would be useful to just show some hotkeys. I actually learned some of them from Kyle when we've been doing like little coaching. So I was like, I didn't know that, so I'll make a video about it.
It was
So,
good. I wish
yeah.
that more of our videos were like as fast as that one. I feel
Yeah.
like you just kind of like whip through them, but it's good because if you
Yeah.
really want to learn one, you can like replay the 30
Right.
seconds of the shortcut that you want to see. I mean, how long are you going to talk about Control D, you
Right.
know, or like the P button?
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it was tight.
Yeah, and I put some timestamps on it too, so you can just kind of go through it too.
It's on the front page of the channel if you guys haven't already watched it yet. What's it called? I don't remember. It's like
Master 10 plus.
Nope.
No, that's wrong.
you're just gonna make shit up. Say I don't know. I'll look.
That's actually one thing Alex did do for the video was come up with the
I
title.
did do the title. That's
That's
why
why I
she
don't know
doesn't
it.
know it. That's also why I don't know it.
Yep.
It is Liper and shortcuts that actually save time.
There you go. And
10-minute
do.
mastery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. Good solid thumbnail too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
make sure you
also
guys
didn't do
check that
that
one out. It's a good episode. Smoke Show's here. What's up, Resin? How's it going? Yeah, we got kind of the skeleton crew going tonight. Matt obviously can't do this time. We're recording early because I have school open house to go to today in the evening, and Tuesday we were drowning in like code stuff, which I'll show you guys around in a few minutes so you guys can check out the website updates because that's the big update right now. Additionally, where was I going with that?
No.
Oh, a skeleton crew. Yeah. So Anthony's not here because he's on dad duty. It's too early for Matt, and Kyle's doing Kyle things over there. So we're just hanging out today. As a reminder, if you are a fresh face and you have any questions about laser engraving, drop them into the chat so we can swing back around to them and take a look at them later on in the episode because we do love to answer your questions when they come up. Jack is here too. What's up, Jack? Good to see you. I guess if that's it, then I'll just update you guys on what I've been doing. As you guys know, we've got thousands of LMA members supporting me in working every day. So Rhiannon just put out a video. That's great. But what the hell have you guys been paying me to do? So I'm going to just take you on a little tour. The last time I showed you guys this, it was very much like a prototype and bare bones, and we're much more functional now. So I'm excited to share some of these changes with you guys over here at the Laser Everything database. So I think the last time we did a podcast where I talked about this, it was just the materials that were up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got a lot to talk about here. So first of all, materials and coatings are both up now. So we have that material reference guide we talked about last time. Not much has changed there.
I think you actually added all the top stuff though since last time.
Oh yeah, like
I don't
these
think you
things
had
up here.
those.
Yeah, I don't think I have these either. There's a disclaimer to save my butt. And then there's also safety level definitions. So that'll give these kind of safety levels a little bit more context for you. So that's pretty cool. I've also added a couple materials, not a ton, but a couple that I've needed in other things that I'm going to show you as we kind of move forward here. So that's the material reference page, I guess. We also have the laser material coatings now. So just some common coatings you'll find in materials. This page works exactly the same way as the regular material ones. It's just about coatings, and that's why you find them under the same block here. The big news, guys, is let's just get rid of that too. We don't really need that. Settings. So we have fiber, CO2 galvo. Why do these both say CO2 galvo? Did I open that one twice, or is it a bad link?
Try it again.
I don't know. We should have CO2 gantry settings available too. Nope. Okay, bad link. Note to self.
It
fix
might just
that.
be the title because you have the Chihuahua on there, or was that Galvo?
No, this one says /CO2 gantry settings, which is a bummer because I probably overwrote a page at some point. Let me see if I actually have a backup of that one really quick because I did want to show you guys this today. Give me 1 second, guys. Just bear with me.
This is what Alex looks at all day.
Yeah. CO2 gantry.
Oh, Resin said she downloaded the UV ones and they helped a lot for her project last week.
Hey-o.
That's good to hear.
Let's see. Copy page.tsx. Back to page. Tsx. All right. I just restored the backup. Let's see if that works now. Yes.
Gantry.
Okay. Woo. All right. So I fixed it. Sorry about that. Sorry for the delay. I just finished the CO2 Galvo page, which is why I was curious if I had overwritten something in the gantry one by accident, just mistyped or something. But anyway, neither here nor there. So fiber, guys, CO2 gantry, CO2 Galvo, only one sad little setting. And the UV laser settings, these are the community libraries. So these are settings that people submit to share with the world, right? These are all submitted by people that are part of the community. We've got a bunch of useful cards up here, like a stats summary, resources recently added. And all of these now have functioning details pages too. So you can actually come in, you can see the setting and information about people's setup on their machine, whether or not they're using a certain focus. The most polished one is the fiber laser settings. This is actually set up the way I want the rest to be, including expandable images. You also have quick filters. So if you see the material is slate, you can click and it will automatically load all slate related settings for you right off the bat, which is really nice too.
That is nice.
Yep. If there are more than one setting, and I don't know if I have a great example of this off the top of my head, but I'd love to show this off. I think it's one that Vinny sent. We also have, this one works too. So here you can see fill number 1 use both fills and fill number 2 use both fills. So this setting actually has multiple separate fills that should be used as separate fill layers in Lightburn. And the database has never supported that before. You've always had to enter multiple settings or like leave a second pass in the notes if it differed from the first one. So now you can do like deep engrave is your fill number 1, and then cleanup pass is your fill number 2. and you can ship both of those together in the same entry, which is pretty cool. So anyway, those are the settings pages, guys. I'm not going to talk about it too long just because this isn't really new, but it is quite refined. So hopefully, this will make a difference for you as we kind of develop these a little bit more. We also have the focus over here. I just wanted to point this out. Negative values on this mean focus closer, and positive values mean to focus further away. So I just wanted to throw that out there while we were...
We don't have a contact form for new submissions yet, right?
Good point. Yep,
Okay.
that is another thing I should talk about. You'll notice the box right here says submit a setting, and you can't click it. And there's a reason for that. I've never done this before. It's always been kind of anonymous, but I think what we're going to do is actually set up a user system for this. So you can edit entries that you've added in the past, favorite entries that you want to come back to in the future, upvote settings that work for you. That's really the main reason I want to do it, is to add kind of like an upvote. So, you'll see a setting for, slate raster image, and it'll have like a little thumbs up with a number next to it. So you can see, oh, this setting worked for 16 other people. And that'll kind of be a visual indicator for you to find settings that are already working for other people with the same equipment that you have. I think that's going to be really valuable, but it really does kind of require a user system be in place. So that's my next big project. Now that all of these are working, I'd really like to get like an upvote system kind of integrated, and that's going to require user accounts. So of course, all of that will be free. That won't cost anything. But that is the next step now that we've gotten this far. The last thing here that is new, I think, since the last time we talked, laser sources, were these here? I don't think so either.
I think you only talked about the materials.
Laser sources, guys, way bigger list than last time. We've now got CO2 gantry and galvo sources, as well as UV sources added to the database. They're not all completely data filled yet, so they're listed, but they aren't necessarily detailed, and that's something that is just going to have to be worked on over time. But way more of a selection, and of course we do have little filters over here. So like JPT, we could find a UV source or a fiber source. If you want to just filter between one or the other, it's a simple click, and you're only going to get relevant results that way. So if we only want to see those UV ones, we can click 355. If we only want to see the fiber ones, we can click 1064. So not every brand has that issue, but some of them do. And so we have this tooling here available to help you deal with that. The actual last thing is the projects database. This is backup. This is one of the most requested things. It's one of the things I get the most questions about when it goes down. So if somebody is looking for, this grayscale gradient raster for testing, this is one of the big ones. People want to just download this. And when we're ever doing work like this on the server, people always, have trouble finding it. So anyway, this is back up now. Of course, it is one click to download. So if we just pop into one of these download files right there, there's no ads, right? So there's nothing to worry about. It's just click, download, get the zip, done. If you want to include instructions, we do have an instructions field now, which we didn't before. And this actually is fully Markdown compatible. So if you want to do Markdown formatting when you submit a project, you can do that now. So you could do like a whole guide on a project if you really wanted to. The other killer thing about this is it used to have a bunch of different fields. You'll notice all of the other pages in this app are tables. They're like, X and Y tables. These are cards. And the reason why is because we got rid of all of the fields that you have to fill out in order to submit a project. And now it's 100% tag based. So anything you're looking for, you can find with a tag. And we do have an automated system up here pulling things like popular tags, recent tags, so that you can find the things you're looking for. So if you're looking for a document, It's just one click, and it's going to give you all of the document style results. If you're looking for projects for wood, same thing. You can click and you get wood projects right away. If you are looking for a fixture, you can click fixture, and all of those fixture options come up. So this should be much, much, much easier for you guys to use going forward. And I'm really excited to be able to announce that it's done. So this is what I've been doing. It takes a lot more time to make this kind of stuff than it does to show you, but I hope that you guys like it, because I'm super excited to share it.
It's been looking very nice.
Yeah, there's no
I
dead
think
link
it's come
left.
out pretty fantastic.
Yeah, you happy with it, dude?
Yeah, I think you
I
guys
feel-
did a great job.
I feel like a lot of the time when I redo website stuff, I replace something subpar with something new subpar. But I feel like this time it was really worth it. It was actually worth the time that I spent on it. I think it's really effective, and it's very easy to find things. The only thing that's missing on this page is the just like file explorer, where you could just explore literally the raw downloadable files, not necessarily projects, but just like our database with all of our different like spec sheets and manuals, the EasyCAD downloads, stuff like that. That's all actually going to be integrated into this. That'll be just another little box on this main page here. So that is coming soon. And that one's going to be very easy to implement because the folders are already where they need to be. I just need to kind of turn it on. So that one will be joining the ranks soon. But like I said, the last time we talked, guys, most of these buttons did nothing. And now every single one of them works 100%. The only thing you can't do right now is submit, which we will take care of in short order here. But I'm pretty excited that it's done. So
Yeah, I feel like you made it in a way that's very like clear to navigate too. So
yeah, I tried to make it so that you could just kind of glance around. Like you don't
Mhm.
have to read everything to find what you're looking
Right.
for, you know?
yeah, the tags and the search bar are all helpful.
Yeah. There are some differences from like one to the next, like between CO2 galvo settings and UV settings, and those will form parity over time as I kind of like touch things up and tweak things. But the main mass is there and settled. So that's that. Chris Alvier says, hey, I've been watching your vids for a while. I'm trying to make a nameplate, but how do I do it so all the letters come out with one piece? I'm currently using the Triumph laser. And Jack says, you want the letters welded together. That is a good question, Jack. I'm not entirely sure. Are you like cutting these out of something and you have like the letters and you want all the letters to come out in one piece instead of like having drop throughs? Because that's pretty easy if that's what you're looking for. It can be a little more challenging with like normal fonts rather than like cursive ones where they are already kind of overlapping. But either way, I'm happy to talk about it if you can just clarify what you're looking for. Yes, I'm trying to cut out of a silver piece. Okay, perfect. So let's see. Do I have Lightburn installed on my virtual machine? I don't even know if I do. You do.
Not.
Can you pull it up? Oh, wait, but you're not sharing with the...
No, I'm not.
Well, it might be up to you, Kyle. Kyle's dead.
Kyle died.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll get you.
come back to
We'll
it.
get you taken care of. You can do this work just in Lightburn.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to technical.
Okay. Kyle's having technical issues.
Trying to technical.
What is the best way to get Lightburn on this machine? I know I'm not new. I just need to download it. Just give me the download.
Hey.
Hey. This is like the one computer I don't have Lightburn on because it's just not even remotely close to any of
The lasers.
the lasers. Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason I have it was for that last video.
Yeah, but still, like, I think mine's going to do the same thing yours was doing too, where it was like just not.
I
starting
think
it.
I'm up and running.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Test.
Yes.
We
Hello.
hear you.
Cool. Yep. All right. I'll share my screen.
Yay.
Chris said, and I want all the letters to come out
Sorry
together
about that.
in one piece. I'm using EasyCAD.
Yeah.
Oh, he's using EasyCAD.
Oh. Well.
Well,
Step
EasyCAD's your problem right there. It does not auto weld characters.
Yeah, you'll have to do that in your editing software, which I can show you when Kyle's done with his demo. Though I cannot stress enough how much I would recommend you get rid of EasyCAD and just get Lightburn. There's nothing left. There's nothing left that you cannot do in Lightburn that you can do in EasyCAD. Everything you can do in Lightburn, you can do. Or everything you can do in EasyCAD, you can do in Lightburn, plus more. So
I was going to say, we've been getting a lot of coaching requests for EasyCAD problems, and we're like, please get Lightburn.
Yeah,
so please
time
get
to
Lightburn. It's worth it.
So here's a great example. I literally just typed laser everything, and I went to the font bar, and I literally scrolled until I hit the first italic font, essentially, or script font. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in here. And all of these you can see are all filled in and they're all connected. But if I disable weld here at the top on Lightburn, you can see now that there's overlap from character to character. And essentially what this does is it allows the characters to touch each other and overlap to some degree so that when they are welded, they become one cohesive shape. So if you wanted to do something like a name necklace, for example, these would all stick together, and you can kind of see a little zigzag, jaggy area here that you'd probably want to fix that. But just for the intent of the example, if you were doing like a name tag necklace and you needed this E to cohesively touch, what you can do is you can actually convert this to a path is one option, or you can bring the horizontal spacing down. And what that's going to do is it's going to shift everything closer together. Now, where this is already a font that's already touching, it's designed to touch, that's not going to work great for you. So what you could do is you could right click, convert to path, and now you have this individual shape you can shift around. And I'm holding control and shift, and that's going to reduce my jump size significantly. And we are now touching, right? I'm going to grab this whole item and I'm going to weld it together. And now I have one cohesive shape. So that's the quick version on Lightburn.
Yeah.
So that's the quick version, and now I'll show you the hard way. So here's the hard way. Let's go ahead and get into Inkscape here. So get off of that. That's really bright. And let's grab some, let's do everything just like Kyle did. And let's pick a cursive font to keep things simple. Blackjack is a good, Blackjack's not the best example. Let's pick a different one. I probably wouldn't try to cut a name out with that. There, this one looks good. So let's say we want to cut this out in one piece. It's kind of the same problem, but it looks different when you're doing it in an editor, and you have to be extra careful because you're not in the final place this graphic is going to be. So like Kyle, the first thing I'm going to do is change this object to a path so that we get a path that we can deal with. So you can see all the little individual nodes there, and we've got our individual path shapes. The other thing I'm going to do, if I can remember where it is, because it's been a minute, you cannot simply ungroup it. Let me see. I just did it for a project earlier. Split path right here. that'll give us individual groups. So what that split path does is it essentially breaks these up into what it considers groups. And even then, I mean, you can see there's overlap here, but that overlap isn't necessarily completely separating this. So now we have to come in and do the dirty work, and it depends on how you want that done. The main thing I would do is parts that are already good like this that have nodes that are overlapping, I would probably just use a Boolean on. So that's just like Lightburn's weld. So if that's something that we want to do, we can come into path here and we can just hit union, and that's going to weld that into a single shape for us, which is pretty straightforward. But there is some moving that is going to need to be done if we want to tie all these shapes together. So like, here's another example, just while we're doing the easy stuff, let's come into path, union here. And now if we open up the node editor, you can see there are no nodes in that overlapping space. So we know that that's one filled shape, and that's great. If you want to bring text together, you can do the move like this, right? So they're literally overlapping. That's the first way. So we've got these two shapes. And if we open the node editor, you can see these overlapping nodes in here. That's just your confirmation. If we come to path and we do union again, it will build that in. So now we've got this 4-letter block essentially out of everything. The other way that you can do this is with bridging. So if you really don't want your letters to overlap for whatever reason, if you don't think it's going to look good or whatever, you want to get them close, you could always just generate your own shapes, which I do pretty often. So I'll grab this and just kind of expand this between the letters. And now this is really just another shape, just like any of these other ones. I can come to path, object to path, and that's just going to make it a regular old 4-point rectangle instead of an object. And you can combine these the same exact way we just did the others. So as long as we've got all 3 selected, we can come into path and we'll just do another union. And now if we open the node editor, you can see nothing's really changed. And you've got a pretty clear letter there without these 2 lines technically overriding or overtouching each other, which is acceptable. It's good enough. Again, I didn't really pick the best font for this either, but this is how you have to do it. The point, I think, ultimately is that you need to make sure one way or the other, whether you're doing it in Lightburn, which is way easier, or you're doing it in an external editor for EasyCAD, that you are welding these shapes together one way or the other. That has to be done. That is not optional. So if we come into paste or path again, union, there we go. Now we've got our E. So they're all technically touching. Now, whether or not this is good enough for a name necklace that you're going to cut out of silver or whatever, that's a different story. You're really going to have to look at these gaps that you've left that are actually bringing these letters together and determine if that's thick enough of an area to survive the cutting process. It could very well not be, in which case you might have to bring these letters closer together or even thicken them up a bit. All you need to do is bring something like this rectangle in, right? We just did this. So I'll just bring that rectangle in, and it doesn't look all that different than we had just a minute ago. If you want something more organic, you could use
like a brush tool or whatever.
You could use a brush tool or even a circle. Generally, kind of gives you more of a natural curve. If you have like an oval or something like that, generally that will do pretty well. And just, you know, there's a little art to it. Like you're gonna have to put a little effort into it. And yeah, that's a really good point, Kyle. Let's do a little brushing really quick. Let me see what I've got set up here. All right.
Jack in the shop also said, note that once you change it to a path, you cannot change the text any longer.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah,
Right.
because it doesn't see it as why is this the weirdest brush I've ever used in my life? This is not a good time for this. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, it doesn't see it as a text object anymore, so it's not going to allow you to make further changes to that text. So if you do need to make a change at that point, you'll have to retype the text. So that's a very good point as well.
Yeah. it transitions it to basically a vector object, which is how we're getting all the nodes that we're essentially viewing and editing here.
Right. I don't know why my brush is this way right now. What do you do? Ew, gross. Well, this could work too. So you could even take the pencil tool like that.
Beautiful.
Shut up. It's good enough for my point. The point is you can take vector blobs from a brush or pen tool, and it behaves the same exact way. If we look at this in our layers panel, you can see it still sees that as a path. It doesn't care. It doesn't care how ugly it is or what brush it came out of. At the end of the day, I can still grab the entire thing because these are all already connected, and I can grab our blob, and again, there you go. You can see all those little nodes in there. They're just going to vanish when we do path union. Now it's all part of that single shape. Usually the default brush in Inkscape is tolerable. I don't know what this bullshit is. So I'm not able to show you the pretty way to do it right now.
Something said calligraphy.
Yeah, I
could
saw
see.
it. I saw it earlier, calligraphy, but I don't know where I clicked that. I've gotten a lot better at Inkscape since I've started, and I like it a lot more than I used to. But I still don't know everything about it. And one of the things I don't know is where to change the kind of fucking brush I'm using. But yeah, so that's kind of that. That should answer your question. As far as like bits falling out and things like that, the eye is going to be your main thing. I would God, that sucks so much. You can bridge it or you can just leave it out. I mean, those are really your only two options because you're not going to get a clean eye that's going to be attached unless it's actually attached somehow, or you just get rid of it. So, at which point, like, fine. I'm not really sure if that's the best, but it's
capital I.
You don't. That's an L.
Script I without the dot, basically.
That's about as good as you're going to be able to get. Yeah. So now you can see at least the first half of this word. I'm not going to do the whole thing. This is all welded. So this will technically on paper, it'll cut out all in one piece. Whether or not in real life it will actually do that, again, is going to come back to your cut settings and, how rough of a go the metal gets under the laser, because some of these bridges just might not cut it. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah. Just to add to that too, let me share my screen again. I should have just left it up. Boop. Another thing you can do, because one of the other common questions we get when people are doing name necklaces is, can I do it with block text or text that isn't script? And this would probably not look very natural if you shoved all of this together, right? So if you smush this all together, like maybe that's not the look you're going for. So another thing you can do is you can actually do what you would do with like a monogram cutout, and create bars on the top and bottom to kind of give it a way of welding itself together.
Yeah.
And so you can do like a top and bottom bar.
Yeah.
And it gives you more structure, right? So like
it even solves your eye problem there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it gives you something to hitch the eye dot to. It gives you at least one point of contact on every letter, if not two. And if you did this in all uppercase, it would actually, it would give you even more structure because more of the characters would be top to bottom on both bars. And if you were doing like a name necklace where you were anchoring maybe like a
like a chain.
Yeah. So like this is kind of fat and ugly, but for the sake of time, it gives you a point where you can anchor these two.
I'm offended.
It's okay. I'm fat and ugly.
No,
Aw.
no, you squishy teddy bear.
And we can stick all of these together into one big ass shape. You now have 2 anchor points where you can dangle a necklace from, and you have a name necklace ready to go.
Yeah.
Now, what Alex was saying about whether or not it would be practical or not also has to do with like how thin your shapes are and what you're expecting to get out of your thickness of material. Because if you're always cutting at an angle because you're projecting out your beam from a central point, if you're cutting at a downward angle, and this is like an extreme angle outward, like if you're cutting on the front of your plate, the thinner your cutouts are, the weaker your material is going to be, and this could just break apart in your hand depending on the actual size of your cutout.
Yeah.
So if you
And
take this whole thing
the thickness
scale
of
it
the
down-
material.
What was that?
I said, and the thickness of the material too.
Yeah. So the thicker the material, the harder it is to cut out. And you would think the thicker, the stronger it would be, but like that also gives you other issues when you're not cutting straight through the material. So yeah, there you go.
Bam.
Whammo. Glatz says, that's awesome. Can a fiber laser settings be used on different software other than Lightburn? We have a CLC Arms Mark 50 watt fiber laser that runs its own software, which is not as good as Lightburn. There's a lot of settings that carry over from software to software, and honestly, a lot of the difference is just what the brand is calling the parameter that you're talking about. So, like for example, with Lightburn, you have your line interval, but in other softwares they don't call it line interval, they call it what is it?
Like line spacing, line distance,
line distance. Thank you.
API,
And
LPI.
They'll use an acronym of LD for line distance, or or they'll just stick with lines per inch instead of using a line interval value at all. They'll go with LPI or lines per millimeter or whatever. So yes,
your worst case, if you're paying attention, is you have to do some math. The hardest one that I see that's frequent with like first party proprietary shit is speed, because a lot of companies will just do speed 0 to 100%. And everything that we do kind of on the open source end of the laser world is exact values, right? So my machine might have a minimum speed value of 0 millimeters per second and a maximum of 500. And so if I make a setting, it will say something like 300 millimeters per second. Whereas if your machine uses a percentage, you have no idea what that 100% is. So what is the max speed the machine can do? And then you have to kind of do math a lot to figure out, you know, every single speed setting you find online and what that means for your machine that goes from 0 to 100%. So it's not impossible, but it can be frustrating.
Oh, they followed up.
Yep. They said parameters are similar reciprocal. I think the speed is 7,000 millimeters per second. I guess it's just a matter of trying it out. Yeah, I mean, give it a shot, right? Get some test material and give it a go. If you can find anything about your machine's maximum speed, as far as like what it's capable of, then you can kind of infer in between values, right? So like if your speed max is 7,000 millimeters per second and the setting runs at 2,000 millimeters per second, you can at least be like, okay, I should be running at like 20 or 30% speed or 15% speed, right? Like you can make kind of educated guesses at the least, or do the math to find out the real value at the best. So yeah, definitely doable. Also, you should find out what controller you have. Just because a lot of proprietary machines will run a off-the-shelf controller and just slap their software over it. You might like boot up EasyCAD 2 and be like, oh shit, it recognizes a controller. There's an EasyCAD 2 controller in my machine. That's not unheard of. It could be 100% proprietary. It might be like 100% their controller and there's nothing you can do. But it is powerful to know what hardware is actually inside the box, because you can make some additional informed decisions that you might not otherwise if you do no investigation. So I would check that out too, just as a side note.
That actually brings up a good point too, where Lightburn has a free 30-day trial. There, I can't tell you how many people just off a whim install the software, install the Lightburn driver for Galvo, and their machine just connects. It's a happy surprise when stuff just works like that. And
that's even a better point than the one I was making, because that doesn't even require you to open your machine. I mean, you can literally just install Lightburn and see if it sees your laser. Because if it does, then it's using one of the controllers that Lightburn supports, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Worst case scenario, you got to reinstall the prior driver, right? Like, it's not the end of the world.
It's not. Good shit.
Yeah.
Nice. Someone asked where they can send an email to.
Contact@lasereverything.net.
That's right.
Yep. Rhiannon will probably answer it.
Probably.
And if not, Kyle will probably answer it.
There you go.
And if not, then I'll probably answer it. But
One of us will get it.
it'll probably be Rhiannon, though. It's true.
Let me know your problems.
You ready to cut out that Yeti tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
I am. I'm actually
Cutting
now.
out a Yeti?
Yeah, I'm cutting out a Yeti, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, is this that super big pass-through job kind of deal?
Yeah, that I'm not doing as a pass-through job. Yes,
Because you don't have a pass-through.
because I don't have a pass-through, because I have Mira.
Segments.
But yeah, I think it'll be easy enough to just cut into segments. I'm just gonna. I think what I'm actually going to do, since I have to do it either way, is I'm gonna just do a quick screen recording episode of how I actually cut that Yeti up into pieces. Because I don't think a lot of people know how to do that. I don't think we have any videos specifically talking about that very specific thing in art software yet.
You can also do it in Lightburn.
I could probably do it in Lightburn. I'm probably not going to. I don't like doing things in laser software that I can do in real art software.
I'm the other way around.
I know you are. I know most people
Anything
are.
I can easily do in Lightburn, I'd rather do in Lightburn.
I think most people would
You
agree
show
with
both.
you, but I'm difficult, and I'm going to keep doing it the difficult way because I want to. Plus, I think if we do it in Inkscape, it reaches more people. I think the pool of people using any piece of artwork, vector editing artwork software, is larger than the pool of people using Lightburn. But
You could go the extra mile and show it in both.
no, I'm not doing that. Maybe Kyle can do it.
There you
Kyle
go.
will play.
Kyle.
Hey guys, welcome to Laser Everything. In this episode, I'm going to be showing you how to do what Alex did in the last one the right way. But yeah, I am going to cut that out. The bulk of the episode is just going to be how to do it, and then I'll include a little B-roll of something of the actual thing. Yeah, that doesn't really matter. That's just the machine cutting. I mean, there's only so much value people are going to get out of that. But just to feel, so they can feel closure, to actually have seen the Yeti cut, I feel like will be enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got that coming up. What else do we have to do? Oh, can you go get the
Bamboo
scanner?
still.
Can you go get the scanner?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to just
Show it.
be like, here it is. I gotta do something to clear my conscience. So we've got that coming out. Rhiannon is working next on her bamboo. Are you so you're telling me you're responsible 100% for the ultimate bamboo engraving guide? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, I can be.
All right, you are. Great.
But
Congratulations.
that's so that you can do this.
I know. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to because it's a cool thing and we need it for work. So I'm going to do it. But just really quick, this is not the real unboxing, guys. But there is a very cool thing in here. So the last time I showed you, did I show this on the channel already?
I think you-
Did I talk about this on the podcast at all? No.
I think
Okay,
you
great.
talked about the last one.
We did talk. Whoop.
Oh god.
That's a heavy keyboard. That is way heavier than I remember it being. So the last time I talked to you guys about a 3D scanner, we had that really cool LiDAR one that was completely useless to us. And we ended up sending it back because we don't have anything the size of a city block that we need to scan and engrave. So we sent it back, and at first we were just like, hey guys, we can't do it. Sorry, it's not relevant enough. And they were like, no problem, we'll take it back. And that was the end of the conversation. Did they reach out to us?
I think at the end of the conversation, we were kind of like, we'd still love to work with you in the future, but like we just can't use this really.
Yeah.
And then they did reach out to us.
Yeah, like
later,
like-
and we're like, you could try
like
this
a month
one
later.
Yeah. or two.
So we got a nice surprise. It's this, guys. It is the 3D Maker Pro Moose. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Moose.
And
It's
I think
handheld
there's
scanner.
a Moose Lite too,
3D
but
scanner.
this one is not the Lite. I'm
So we're
pretty
gonna like, I don't know, we're
Yeah,
gonna
do
scan some faces or
Alex's
some
face.
shit and engrave it. So how to like literally from scratch your own 3D models into an engraving, which I think is the perfect use case to accept something like this for review. Though if there is something that you'd specifically like me to see or like to see me do with this while we review it, let me know, either here or on LMA or wherever, somewhere I'm going to actually see it, because I'll do it. We've just been kind of like throwing ideas together because we need this for other things around the office. So we are going to make a review for it on the channel. And I know that there are ways that we can apply this to what we do in the laser engraving industry. But if there's something that would make that particularly relevant to you as the viewer, please do not hesitate to let us know, because we will absolutely do it for you. So let me know if that
Put it in the
interests
comments
you.
after.
at all. It came with a look. It came with like a little turn
Oh, yeah, the
style
little
too.
stand.
This one's pretty sad though. I think I'll use the bigger one that we have.
Sure.
And it's got like a little charger and a grip, and that's it. I mean,
And
it's
nice
a pretty slim thing. But yeah, we got to do an unboxing on this soon, and then I'm going to start working on a laser engraver oriented review. So that's what I'll be doing while Rhiannon's doing the ultimate bamboo engraving guide, which is
It
all that
says-
Johnson. Oh, yep.
Scan something and do a grayscale engrave.
I think we thought of that
Yes,
too, like
I'd be-
coins, right?
Yeah, I mean that's how we have to do. We don't have any 3D lasers here, so no matter what we do with it, that will be the process that gets used.
Not my face. No, Anthony.
Yes,
We'll do Alex's
Yes.
face.
we'll do Chris's
Brock.
face or Brock.
There
Oh,
we
that'd
go.
be a good one. Bulldog
He might
coin.
not
Yeah.
stay still.
That's
though.
true.
He's-
Maybe a sleeping Brock or
Mm,
something.
Yeah, we could definitely do it while he's sleeping.
It's gonna end up being something like that. The other thing I thought would be cool, which I didn't mention, is like 3D printing our own fixtures. So like we could scan an object
Yeah.
and then try to make like a fixture out of that, and that, if it goes well, could be extremely useful.
Yeah. That's kind of where my brain went at first with this thing, but then that requires you to have some way of 3D printing and have a laser.
Yeah, but the people that watch the channel are fucking nerds, so they probably have
Yeah.
a 3D printer already or want
But
one.
if we can find like a way to use it with lasering, like the coin and that, then
Yeah,
that's a plus.
I think we'll end up showing both.
Yeah.
So that's what I've
Jack
got.
says, I find myself designing SVGs in Lightburn and importing into Fusion 360 for 3D printer and VCarve for CNC and router and plasma.
That's amazing when you have modeling skills.
I
don't.
actually do a lot of the things that I prototype on my 3D printer, I actually design a 2D projection, I guess you could call it, in Lightburn, like a flat.
Mhm.
And then I'll drag it into Shaper 3D or whatever, and I'll extrude it out and then make whatever features appear on that as needed.
Can
It's
Blender
super
make
nice having-
3D printing files?
Huh?
Can Blender make 3D printing files?
It can. It's really
Imagine.
friggin' annoying, but yes.
Because it's Blender, or because of some inherent quality of the file it outputs that makes it difficult to print?
You know how there's like software that's really good at doing one thing, and then there's software that's really good at doing way too much?
Yeah.
It's the latter.
I
And
have
the
the
problem
most,
with that is it makes it really complicated and annoying.
I have the most experience with Blender though. I don't
Yeah.
like I know the shortcuts and I understand how the tools work. So like if I was going to ever do that, I would feel like I would do it in Blender.
I was
But
gonna say I'm doing the donut video right now.
oh yeah, the donut. Brandon's learning how to make a donut
Yeah.
in Blender. which
It's
is
like
pretty
the
cool.
most popular how to learn Blender video on YouTube.
Yeah,
so-
there's probably other things we should be using though. Isn't there like an internet one? What is it? Tinkercad?
There's
that right?
Tinkercad.
That's
There's all
that's the
kinds of
online
options.
one?
Yeah.
Oh, look what Jack said. See,
Yeah.
but Blender is free.
Well, I'm not. I did use Fusion 360 a couple times, and it was cool and easy enough to use. It's too fucking expensive, and I want whatever I end up doing this with to be free.
Mhm.
So or
Part of the
way
problem
more
with Fusion
accessible.
360 is that it's software as a service, and it supports stuff in like the base software that 95% of users don't need.
Mm,
And that's how they supplement paying for the development of the software, because the 5% of users who do need that wouldn't be able to afford the development cost of everything else involved in that.
Resin says
so-
FreeCAD is similar to Fusion but free. Is
Also,
it
Jack said something was free. Fusion Hobby.
Fusion?
Yeah,
Hobby?
FreeCAD is absolutely a thing.
Is that available for Linux?
I'm pretty sure it is.
What about Luigi?
I'm gonna
I
go
use
look.
Shaper 3D
I'll-
mostly because it carries over
Mm.
from
Yes.
iPad to Windows really nicely.
Yeah.
Nice.
Lychee is Lychee's
Lychee?
a slicer.
Mm.
So that's meant to take a model that already exists and slice it into
Got
layers
it, but
for the
you're not
printer.
actually making
But
them
it's
in there.
not like a modeling
Got it.
piece of software.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, FreeCAD. Look at that.
I've only touched into this area.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing.
FreeCAD's a thing. I do have FreeCAD as well. I just haven't spent a ton of time in it.
My judgment for CAD software is whether or not I want to throw up when I open it for the first time. So we're gonna find out live now.
That's a thing no matter what 3D design software you go into. So
Yeah, but I mean, I should be able to like inherently open this software, and I should be able to like pan and tilt and zoom without wanting to punch a hole in the wall. Like if I can do that, then I can figure out anything else. Especially like extrusions, like easy things. I want to just be easy.
you should just model throw up,
I should just
There you go.
save everybody the time.
because
and
all of them suck. It all sucks.
FreeCAD, boom. Let's see. Does
I
it
mean,
just
I guess-
open?
It's kind of hard to make something three-dimensional on
Welcome
a
to
screen,
FreeCAD.
so makes sense that they're
Units,
they
navigation
make you wanna throw
style.
up.
Wow. Oh, Blender. Look at that.
Ooh.
FreeCAD Dark. Done. Let's see. Let's open this. I'm an excavator. Is it still loading? Is there anything here? Hello?
Okay, throw up now.
Yeah, what is that?
Where's all the stuff?
I don't see anything. It does give you little clickable nav buttons, but this is an empty project.
Yeah, you can like quick jump to different faces and stuff.
All right, show me like engine block. Maybe it's just not rendering on my computer for some reason. It might be like a technical problem. I don't know.
Resin said something.
That's a fail.
X out of the assembly example, you clicked on the wrong thing.
I clicked on the wrong
Way
thing.
to go.
What is?
Typical.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I'm a laser person. Okay.
We're definitely laser people.
Just
before
keep
it comes
watching
to
what
3D
Resin
design. We're a lot of things before it comes to 3D design.
This is the wrong thing.
You want to click
Part design example.
parametric part takes you to part design. I don't think you're listening.
I am. She said part, right? Part design. There it is. Model, body. I see the pieces. I don't know what I'm clicking. I'm just clicking random things and waiting for it to work.
You know what you'll have to
Famous
do? Watch a
word.
YouTube video.
You'll want to click parametric part. What the fuck are you talking about, Resin? Do you see parametric part? Oh, parametric part. But that's a new file.
there.
I don't want a new file. And I don't see.
Can you make a square?
I can't make anything. I don't know, maybe. What is this? No sketch to work on. These all do different scary things. You found it. Great. I found it.
Kind of reminds me
found
of the,
it, guys.
like, what are they? Crocs? What do you how do you say their name in Zelda?
Oh, the Koroks?
Koroks.
Yeah.
You found me.
I don't know. That just looks like a white screen to me.
You tried.
I did. I made an effort.
Jack says left, right, down, up, AB.
Alex actually tries it.
Didn't do anything. Didn't even work.
Yeah, I don't
There it
know
is.
what to.
Body origin.
So this is my experience as well.
I
when
think
first
something's
opened
not
3D.
rendering. Yeah.
And then I went to Shaper 3D and I happily paid after the free trial period because it was just easier. And I liked it.
I think I'm having a rendering issue. That's what I think. So I will circle back around to that another week. I'll update you guys. I'll let you know how that went. Because I'm assuming that that white page is not supposed to be just blank white. That doesn't look right.
It happens. We all have rendering issues sometimes.
I'm going
Sometimes.
to YouTube right now.
Right now.
Week ahead. Starting the software. I just want to see what it looks like when somebody else starts it. See, look at that. That is not what I'm seeing. Look, first of all, their shit is gray.
Alex is jealous because they have dark mode.
Yep.
Look at this. Look at that. Mine didn't have that. Can you open a sample project so I can make sure I'm not an idiot?
He's not even watching it.
You know what? 3D design is too hard.
I'm done with this shit.
And that's why I got a 3D scanner, which is still going to take some effort, but at least I'm going to start with a model. And that's why I like Blender. It starts with a block. I feel like you know where you stand with the cube. You know?
What you're going to start with is a grid of dots that hopefully equate to a solid object. But when they don't, you're going to want to fucking punch a hole in a wall.
I really want to do that. We're done. I hope you guys like the website updates. I hope you guys like Rhiannon's episode.
Me too.
It was really cool. If you haven't already, go smash the like button on that one.
Yeah, at least for the end, you got to see my cat.
You got to see the cat. She made a cat.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is engravable. I want to see that with filled
Probably
rendering
not.
on because I feel like it would do some funny things. But it does teach you how to use the node editor.
That's what it was for.
Yep. And I don't know. Go do something. Go play with the database. I worked really hard on it.
Yeah.
So, I would really like some feedback on it. I feel like I've kind of posted it everywhere, and we know you guys are using it because when it went down for the restructure, everybody was like, "Where did the databases go? Oh my god!" Like everyone freaked out.
Got questions everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put this whole new fucking super nice one out, and I'm like, "Guys, give me some feedback on this. What do you think?" And everyone's like,
"Crickets."
So let me know. What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? What features would you like to see added to it? What would make it more useful? What would make it more navigable? What would make it more readable? I want to hear all that kind of stuff. So let me know what you think about that. We should be back to our normal place and time next week because we have a guest.
You do. You want me to tell you?
Yes.
It's Johnson Plastics Plus guy.
Whoa, it's a guy.
His name's Aaron.
Oh, it's Aaron
Yeah.
from Johnson Plastics Plus. We'll be excited to talk to him. He used to have an embroidery business
And screen printing.
and screen printing.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking to him about that and JPPlus and some other things. So
Hopefully lasers.
it'll be cool. This is actually a really good time to bring up our sponsor, Johnson Plastics Plus. Sponsor our podcast. We missed you guys at the beginning, but we won't miss you at the end.
Mhm.
Make sure you go check out their website. Help support the channel. You get 15% off almost everything in the store with discount code YLRZDF. Lots and lots of stuff available for sale there that you can't find in other places. Amazon's been a little bit empty shelf on some things since the tariffs have come in. Johnson Plastics Plus has lots of stock, so still super easy to get over there. You get the discount code and you help support the channel by shopping with them. So make sure you do that. Also, Kyle will add again his link to his Etsy shop down in the description, so you can go buy some infinite vectoring things. What do you sell, Kyle?
What is
What was
it that you sell?
What do you sell on Etsy? I'm trying to
I
describe
sell,
it. I'm doing a good job.
infinitely expandable vector patterns.
That's pretty much what I
also-
said.
Yeah. And also there will be a focal tool going up soon. I have a limited supply of, and it'll be an initial release. And then
Nice.
He's doing like a drop. He's doing
Yeah.
like a product drop.
Do it.
it's like a laser engraver EDC drop.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, that's it, guys. Go home. You go or wherever it is. You people go after the show. Thanks.
You
for
don't
coming.
have to go home, but you can't stay here.
You cannot stay here.
You can go watch
because
another video though.
Eventually, after the stream ends, the page will refresh and you'll be removed. So, you know. All right, I'm going to open house. See you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Have a great night.
Oh boy.
See ya.